Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. Hope everybody's doing well today. Today is my Tim Holtz Tuesday. That's where I use a lot of Tim Holtz products and then Tim Holtz like products. I have decided today that I was going to do something. I know I've seen a few other people on YouTube doing it, and everybody has their own take. Tim Holtz came out a few weeks ago with his Ideology 2023, and one of the things that that he had in that was some collage frames, and I've seen quite a few people come out and do their own version of them. This is my version, and I kind of wanted to show you how I did it and what I used. I'm using Tim Holtz products, but I just kind of decided that I had so many little bits and pieces, because when you order one of his little ephemera packs, his little snippets or whatever, you get a ton of stuff. And I don't know, I mean, I need to start using some of it. If you've been watching my channel, the whole point of Tim Holtz Tuesday for me is to get out my Tim Holtz stuff and use it, because I've kind of been hoarding it and I love collecting it. In fact, I did buy quite a bit of the Ideology stuff, and my biggest reason too was I just have to use some of the stuff up. So that's what we're going to do today. This is kind of what I'm making right now, and this is how it's going to look. And then this is one that it's not sewn, so you can do it either way. He had stitching, but I think it was like straight stitching. I'm not a great sewer, so anytime I sew, it's always messy stitching. This one is not sewn, so you can do it either way. Let me show you what we're going to do really quickly, and then we will just get right to it. So I'm going to be using different things. I've got some Tim Holtz rub-ons. I love using these. There's little bits and pieces here. I'm using some of the collage tiles. I have a ton of those, and you know, it's kind of one of those things where I don't always know where to use them, but they work great on this project. I'll show you. Oh, I'm dropping things. Some of his stamps here. I'm using this one, and this is correspondence, and I got to put that stamp back in there so I don't lose it. I just don't use these enough, and this gives me an opportunity to. This one is field notes, and let's see, this last one is eccentric. So there's a lot of really cool stamps in there, and I'm definitely excited that I'm going to use these, because I've had them, haven't used them. I will be using I have his stamp blocks here. I really love these. Some people have complained that they're too thin. I actually like thin ones for the kind of stamping I do with this. They have a lot of small ones in there. What happened to that little one that I just had? Oh, there it is. The other thing is I have a bunch of archival ink in all different colors, and so I'll be using those. Kind of trying, I need to probably put this in a little container so they don't fall all over the place. Well, exactly what they're doing right now. So that is what I am doing. I will be using a die cut. I have my Cuttlebug out. You don't have to do this with a die cut. You can just hand do it, and I'll show you how to do that. But for the most part, that's what I used. I was kind of surprised I didn't have that many of them. So I may have to order more, but I had a square nesting die, and I'll show you that. And that was this one, you know, where they go in, each one fits inside the next like that, and then you have them, you know. Well, I had a square nesting die, and I'm using that to make my frames. I didn't have any rectangles, so mine are all square, which is fine with me, but I will show you how to do this without a die cut. But basically, I'm using that. And the other thing I'm using is some Tim Holtz paper. I'm using memorandum or memoranda, and I just took a random page. This is the one that has a 6x6, and it doesn't really matter what page you use. I just wanted something in the background so that if I don't collage a certain spot, that it'll be, you know, it'll have that Tim Holtz look. You could certainly use his backdrops, or you could just use a random piece of paper and cover the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. I just use this because again, I'm trying to use my stash, even though this is precious because he's not making these anymore. But you know what? I bought it to use it, so I'm using it. So anyway, I'm going to start with this, and we will go ahead and just cut this into a usable piece in my Cuttlebug. And so I'm just going to cut this down to 6 inches, and it doesn't really matter, honestly, where you cut this, or even you could do it upside down. It probably wouldn't make any difference because you're not going to see that much of it. The first thing I'm going to do is I've got my little sandwich here, but this is a magnetic piece here, and I line it up on that. This is what's really good with the lines here, is you can line it up. And honestly, guys, mine are about a 1/2 inch in this portion, and I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't really matter to me if it's absolutely perfect, but once you cover it up, it's really hard to distinguish if you're off a tiny bit. So I'm just kind of lining these up, so when it goes through there, it's really good to have that magnet. If you don't, use maybe some washi tape or something. So, and of course, these are probably a little bit wider than the Tim Holtz ones that he has. So, you know, you have to just do it how you like. I wanted them that way just because I could have took this, see, and put that like in here and made them thinner, but I really want them a little bit wider so I have room to collage. So let's see here. Let me get it back since I moved it. Yeah, that definitely needs to go up a little bit. So I've got this magnetic plate, I've got my big A plate, and every die cutting machine is going to be different. I'm going to put this on the side that I want it cut out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my B plate underneath that to make it thick enough, and my cutting plate on top. I just kind of go like that, and then what I do is I just take this, and it adheres to the table when you push it down. It kind of locks it in place, and I'm just going to go one pass through. Oops, kind of straighten it out a little bit, and it's a tight fit, so, but this does work. That they don't have a die cutting machine or whatever, honestly, I would check Facebook Marketplace or whatever. There's always people selling theirs. I have several. I also have a really small one. Now the small one wouldn't work on these because it wouldn't go through, but I have an electronic one. But I do keep the manual one close by for just when I have like one or two things. All right, so there's this is what we cut out, okay? And save the middle because we'll find something to do with that at some point, right? So I'll just put those back and then we'll deal with that. So there's another one. I'm just making different sizes. So there's another one. And then there's the middle to that. Okay. So I'm going to put that aside. I saved this because we'll do something with that later. But definitely save that. I'm going to put that aside. Get it out of the way. Okay, so we've done our 3 with the die cuts, but I do want to show you that there's other ways to do this. What you can do is you can cut out your rectangle or square, whatever it is, whatever size you want, and you can do it with just a paper trimmer, okay? And what I do is I like to use this is a quilting ruler, but you can do this with a regular ruler. And all you would do is mark, like here, if I did mine 3/4. You can do it any, whatever type you want. And you're just going to go all around it and mark it however you want it. On all 4 sides, line it up. The quilting ruler makes it really easy, and this is a small one. It was not that expensive, and because you can line up the measurements pretty easily with that. You can do it with a regular ruler. It's a little harder to do. So you're just going to go around and do that. Okay. Three-quarters. And I don't know if you can see it, but where they intersect is where we're going to cut. I did it on the back side so I could see better too. But so basically what you're going to do is you're just going to start cutting. And you can take just a rotary trimmer won't work on this, so I have one of my old trimmers out. So you're going to line up, here's your line right here. You're going to line up this line that you drew with that to make sure it's straight. And on your most paper trimmers, you're going to have like some sort of little indication of where the actual blade part is on the bottom, where it punctures it. And like this has a little thing. Most of them have that. And so that tells me that is hitting right where that line is. So I'm going to go all the way down to where the other 2 intersect right here. Okay. And then I'm just going to keep turning it around and doing that. Lining up this line. Okay. And so let's just do this. If you go a little off, it's not going to really matter because you're covering most of this up. So again, you want to line this up. That keeps it straight. And then do it to where this little thing goes to that line and that line. And we have one more to go. So there we go. All right, and then it should just kind of pop out. So that's how we have another frame, and this is we have a rectangle now. Okay, so again, save that. But that's a way to do it where you do not have to have a die cut. It's not hard to do. You can decide, you know, if it's worth it. I had these die cuts, so I thought, well, I might as well use them, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and decorate. And what I used is, I have an overabundance, I think, of snippets, mainly. All different kinds in here. Different sizes. And so, I mean, it's just crazy how many I have. I also have a bunch. It seems like every time I buy paper or any type of Tim Holtz stuff, it comes like in packages, you know, and then somehow you're always ending up buying more. And I did have these all divided out at some point, but they're not anymore. I do have a lot of, and I have those kind of separate, those collage tiles. I don't know if he just came out with these in 2022 or not, but I have a ton of those. And I'm going to use a lot of those. Those things work really good on this, and you'll see why. So anyway, we could just do this one. How about that? Why don't we just do that? I'm going to use this because I'll be doing a lot of gluing. I love using, this is just a little cheap little silicone mat that I've been using lately. And I am going to use, my, what do you call it? Art glitter glue. I mean, you could use a glue stick. You could use whatever you want. I tend to really love using these collage tiles. So I'll show you why. They're already collaged, a lot of them. Like, see, I like that, but I don't want the bird to go away, so I could go up a little bit. See how that bird could go in that corner and part of that? So I could put him over there, could put that there. I might use that later. So I like that. I kind of like that. But I won't use that much of it. I think I'll just use a portion of it. And then I want something in that corner. I could go pink. So let me see what other things I have in here. So the cool thing about the collage tiles is that they're kind of already collage. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. Okay, I'll just do that. And this is usually, it depends on the size of what I'm doing. I will put a few big pieces down. And this is how I did it. I'll just kind of put some glue right here. I just spread it around with my finger a little bit. And then I decide what I want to show. And I kind of like that flower to show, so I'm going to do that. And then here, I kind of want that corner. So, and I really do want that bird to show, so I'm going to have to figure out how much of this bird I'm willing to cut off, which is not a lot, so I'm going to do that. And everybody does their collaging different, so and also, you know, it depends on what you have to collage with. If you're just using, you can use just different pieces of paper. You don't necessarily have to use any Tim Holtz things, you know. Okay, so I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to just do this right there because I'm really doing it for the color. I mainly put things for the color. I'm not trying to do any kind of theme. So I've done that. I think I might want to put something different down there. So let me see what I got. I already did that. You know, I don't know. Let me look at some of my other stuff that I have. I want a little bit more pink down here. I want a little bit of red. Well, maybe I will put that, but I'm just not going to put that much. I'll put it to, I like that number. Let me see. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so, and there's a reason why I put the bigger ones down first is, you'll see in just a second. I kind of sets where I think I want it, and then I add my other pieces later. I kind of like that green, but I don't know if I want anything that bright over there. I think I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so then what I do is I get a few pieces on there, and I use my fussy cut scissors, and I just go around the back, and whatever you do, do not throw away these extra pieces, because I end up using a lot of them, okay? And you'll see, I'll even put them on the same thing. I just try and move the color around, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. And this is super easy to do. It's fun to do. And I'll tell you, if you have half the snippets I do, it is very rewarding because you're using these things. And I mean, I have just so much stuff, guys. So much. I think I tend to, when I buy these things, sometimes the only way I can get them is if you buy them like in the, you know, 2 or 3 things together. And they always seem to throw in these little snippets, or, well, they don't throw them in, you pay for them, but you have to purchase it with that. And so I have a ton. Now see, that already looks pretty cool, right? Okay, so like if I wanted to put this on the other side, I could put that over there, which I think would actually look really cool. So I'm going to do that. So never throw this stuff away, or you use it on another one. There you go. So, so that's kind of my foundation pieces. So I've already got it, most of it covered. And if you see behind there, there's the Tim Holtz paper. I mean, you could stop right there and not do anything else. I mean, you really could. I think that looks pretty cool the way it is. But, you know, of course, we're not going to do that. So let's just say we want to put some more of this pink down here. So I might want to put that there. Oh, and the other thing too is you definitely can ink your pieces. I think for the most part I only did some of them if I thought they were a little bit too white or something. I didn't do a lot of inking. So, and I will probably put that right there. That looks good. And I'll tell you that the number one thing to do on this is to not think too much. Because if you start thinking too much, you're not going to get a lot done. But it's really fun to do. And I mean, I got hooked. I was going to do like 1 or 2 of these, and I did a lot. See, I like that there. And I want to put a little blue up here. So maybe I put that there. Or have it go that, well, maybe this way. I want the blue part of it to show. And you know, I just kind of audition these things where I want them. I actually like that there. So I'm going to go ahead and ink these because to me they look like they need to have a little ink. And I usually ink the whole thing because I end up using it somewhere else. And this is just so much fun. See, you can't even see the Tim Holtz paper beneath it. So, but I guess I start out with that in case I don't cover it all up. Like, see, that looks pretty cool. But if you think you're going to cover it all up, you definitely don't have to use the Tim Holtz paper, that's for sure. You could save it. But on a lot of these that I did, you can see the paper through there because I just left it. Okay. And I'm going to leave that there because I actually like that color up there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And of course we're going to save that because we may end up using it. Okay, so usually at this point, I don't know, I might put that up there. That might look kind of cool. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? I'll do that. I'll do that. See, so we ended up covering it all up. But anyway, my point is that you don't know when you start out what you're going to leave or not leave. At least I know that. Don't know. And you will see on some of them, I had a lot of it. So when you're doing this, when you're drawing your lines, if you do it that way, you could do it on the back side because likely you'd glue that down. So that way you don't have to worry about erasing them. Okay, so that's the cover that we did so far, right? And now this is what I like to do. And this is similar to how he did it and sewed around it. But if you want to, you can put other things on there like that. Okay. Let's see what other. I love putting little labels on there. Let's see what else I have. Butterflies. Let me find a butterfly. That's a really small butterfly, but I could put that there. And then maybe a label up here. Maybe a ticket, you know. Here's a cool ticket. I like that. And or do I put that down? No, I already have a label down there. Let's just do that. We won't make it overly complicated. But I don't want to cover all the pink up, so maybe I'll go... Well, I'm not 100% sold on that. Let me find something else. See, this is why you really want to kind of maybe... yeah, I like that better. I like the black up there. Got a little black down there, a little black down there. And that's kind of what I do, is I've got pink here, pink here, pink here, red here, red here, red here. I just try and move the color around and to what looks pleasing to my eye. There's not an exact formula. And that's how I do it. There's no other way for me to explain it. Other than that, I'm going to go down here a little bit. Okay, I like that. And then I'm going to do this. Or do I, yeah, that's how I want it, because I want the black on the other side. And this has a little bit too much white, so looks like I need to re-ink my vintage photo again. It seems like I do that a lot. And then that would go here, so let's just do that. And I'm just going to spread it around a little bit. Now this is going to hang off, and I cut that, so you could leave it and not cut it for sure, because I think that kind of looks cool. But that's up to you how you want to do it. Wonder if I want to put a bigger butterfly over there. Let's see what we've got here. Tons of butterflies, that's for sure. Always have tons of butterflies. Do I like that color? I kind of like that blue one, but he's going to stick out so much he's going to end up getting his wings cut off. Alright, I'll just use the little one that I started out with. So you just kind of play with this stuff, audition it, decide what you like, what you don't like. I'm going to put him right here and try and keep all of them on so I don't have to cut them up. Now on this, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Again, you can leave it long if you want to. It's your it's your thing. All right, so that is, I think that's done. Now what you could do, you could take your rub-ons or your stamps, and I don't know if I even said I was going to use rub-ons, but I do have those, because let me do this, cut that off, and then let's just say, it's just what the rub-ons do is that they will add a little bit of pop of black, you know. I don't know where I want to put that. Maybe I'll put that up here. No, may not need it, right? I'm going to add that down here, and then I'm going to put, I feel like it needs something right here, so I'm going to put that right over here on the edge, and my popsicle sticks up here, and that is just to put some more of that dark black around it. Like I said, you're moving the color around. I think that's what makes it look that's what makes it look finished. All right, okay. So I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? All right, and then we'll sew around this. I am going to just do a beige zigzag stick. I'll show you some that I did in black, some with the regular straight stitch and whatever, but there we go. So here we have one of them, and let's see what our time is. Getting really short here, so I'm going to go ahead and do this next size that I did. That was a square, and I think what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and do a few more of these, and then put it to music, and in the end I'll show you all the ones that I did, okay, and what you can do with them. All right. Okay, I went ahead and I collaged them all, and here's the first one that we did. I sewed around it. I haven't inked it yet, but I think it looks really cool. There are the other ones that we did. So, and I just did a zigzag stitch around those. You definitely do not have to sew around them. That's just extra. Here's the last one. And I wanted to show you that I had cut this out of this one. And I did this with just some of the pieces that you get from one of his little snippet packets. They're like rulers and long pieces. And I did it with a straight stitch and kind of plain because I thought, wouldn't that be fun to do something like that? That would be really fun, I think. It was super fun to do, very addictive, and very satisfying to get to use up all your little bits and pieces that we have. So anyway, that's it for this Tim Holtz Tuesday, and I should be back next week. My lineup is Stash Buster Sunday, Mass Make Monday, Tim Holtz Tuesday, What's on My Desk Wednesday, Thrifty Thursday, Fun Friday, and Shabby Saturdays. And like I said, right now I'm limiting myself probably to 3 videos a week. I might do more sometimes, but I'm in the process of a big cleanup, and so I don't know what days I'm going to pop on. So the best thing to do is to subscribe and hit the bell, and then you'll know when my videos are coming out. Alright guys, take care, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.